Ms. Irina, thank you so much. I would like to start from that question. Why do you think after the attack by Israel on Qatar, Donald Trump uh, uh, pick up a meeting and convention very fast?
There's a couple of things going on. One, there's a balance that Trump has tried to maintain. On the one hand, protecting Israel's security or allowing Israel to defend itself. On the other hand, balancing his personal close relations with Qatar and the role of Qatar as a mediator in the negotiations. And also the fact that as part of GCC, Qatar also plays a role in a regional balance of relations. There may be a conflict of interest in trying to balance these relations because at times they are at odds with each other, such as the fact that Qatar continued to harbor Hamas members, an organization that is designated as terrorist under U.S. law, has refused to expel them and has not put them on trial inside Qatar either, which raises questions about its sovereignty claims in this instance. Nevertheless, for political reasons, Trump felt that he had to show that he stands behind Qatar's sovereignty claims. And there's a range of concerns here. One, political concerns on a national level, whether Qatar is designated as a major non-U.S. ally and non-NATO U.S. ally, as is Israel, and that creates a balancing act in itself. Second is personal and business. The Trump organization and many of Trump's close associates are closely involved in Qatar on a business level, um, and avoiding listening to Qatari claims on this matter could create a backlash. Those are the two main reasons, I would say.
Can you please tell me, do you think this attack can weaken the role of Qatar as the mediator because he's playing as good mediator between Israel and Hamas?
I think what really weakened Qatar's role as a mediator is the fact that it's been telling Hamas to keep the hostages for the better part of the past nearly 2 years since the October 7th attacks. I think that in itself revealed Qatar as to have having a conflict of interest, trying to prolong the war in order to keep reaping the attention as a mediator and the rewards of being a mediator. I think what happened was a natural consequence to those actions, but they were by no means determinative. I think what really determined the fact that Qatar's role in this came into question was were its own actions. That said, the fact that Israel took the extremely unusual um, measure of attacking a country that also houses a U.S. base may finally wake up a lot of people to the fact that Qatar's actions have crossed such a red line that they can no longer be ignored or dismissed, and that they will no longer be treated by Israel, at least, with impunity.
We know that Donald Trump, he visited Qatar. He made a lot of business deal with Qatar, but after like a very abrupt attack by Israel, it was like a main cause to stop the connection between the U.S. and Qatar. So my question here is that the other allies of the U.S., do they trust U.S. after this attack by Israel on Qatar? I mean, the allies country on the U.S.
Qatar is not the only country where Trump did and continues to do business, but it is the only country that harbors terrorists that we know of that Trump does business in. Uh, Israel has made it clear from the start that if other countries are not plotting against Israel, are not involved in harboring terrorists, they have nothing to fear. Israel has not attacked Egypt, it has not attacked Jordan, it has not attacked countries with which it has full diplomatic relations, and hasn't attacked countries that do not harbor terrorists. Now, the bigger question is why everyone thinks that Qatar deserves a special treatment, whereas Pakistan, Lebanon, Syria, Iran, and many other countries have all been subjected to, in Yemen as well, to intervention over terrorist presence there.
Ms. Irina, U.S. said that they were not really happy for the attacks that Israel did on Qatar. Do you believe that this attack was conducted without any warning of the U.S.?
I disagree with that. I don't think. I think there were at least some members of the administration who had to have known that the attack was coming, if only to protect, for the sake of protecting the U.S. presence inside the country. And I cannot imagine a scenario where Israel would not have given some notice to somebody in the administration. Now it's very clear that not everybody was in on that information, and it was treated as any sensitive intelligence on a need to know basis. But what is clear is that Trump had to distance himself publicly from this case due to the political controversy, because Qatar is playing such a high profile role in the region and around the world through investments and through its outsized political involvement in many countries. But it's also true that Trump was likely disappointed that Israel may not have fully succeeded in eliminating the Hamas leadership, thus causing a potential PR liability. Had the operation been an unequivocal success, he may have positioned himself somewhat differently. It's also true that he likely came under pressure from Qatar directly after the event to distance himself, and perhaps that level of backlash was not something that he fully anticipated, given that Qatar's own infrastructure and leadership were not targeted.
Can you please tell me that Israel, after this attack, what kind of message do you think he wanted to send while he did this attack on Qatar soil?
Prime Minister Netanyahu made it very clear that the primary message was to the international community and to Hamas. Eliminating Hamas leadership in Doha would have removed one of the major obstacles to concluding some sort of a reasonable ceasefire deal with Hamas, getting the hostages released, and possibly weakening Hamas' political role enough to be able to force Hamas from political position in Gaza as well. However, there was clearly a secondary message to Qatar and to any other country that is harboring terrorists, and there are other such countries in the region, that they will no longer be safe from intervention, nor should they be. Terrorists should be either removed or put on trial as per international law, and nobody seemed to mind when the U.S. Special Forces went into Pakistan um, to arrest or liquidate Osama bin Laden.
Ms. Irina Skarman, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.